Hello, welcome to my new podcast. I'm Anthony, and this is Find a Practitioner, where we talk about all the different healing modalities, that healing treatments. Um, this is just to inform you about all the different modalities out there, and also gives you a chance to get to know the practitioners and hear their stories and their testimonials. So our first guest today is Skye, who is a Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique practitioner. Please tell
Thank
us
you.
less about what you do, and if you can explain it to our viewers, please.
Yes. So a QHHT practitioner is made well known by the founder, Dolores Cannon, and she done 50 years of quantum healing hypnosis technique, which is a past life regression and healing of the body, mind, soul. And as a client, you can eventually go into between 1 and 3 lifetimes when you do the regression part. But really, you come in, it's a long process. It can be about 5 to 6 hours, between 4 and 6 hours, and you have a chat at the start. When you come in, you get to know the client, and that's really lovely because you hear their story, you get to know them as on a one-to-one. It's where they can open up, let you know their journey, their ups and downs, and what's been important to them, and the challenges that they've had. And then you get to know the people in their life as well. So the main characters of their journey, their family members and the people that mean a lot to them. And then you can see if they come up in the past life as well. So you can see if they've had a previous life with their family members or friends or children. And then after that, you go through. It's important to know your past life because there could be something from your past life that's affecting you in this life. And then you can get insight on it. And if you've come through it and worked through it, then you can come through it and work through it now. Or better still, let it go. It may enable you to let that issue go. If you know that it's not from this life, it's actually from a past life. So that's one of the important things about doing the past life regression. And then we travel, the soul travels to their higher self. Dolores called it the subconscious, but she meant the higher self, what we call the higher self now. And the higher self then does healing of the body, mind, soul. And I've had a couple of QHHT sessions and they've been great. They've been really good, really useful for me, but we can talk about that as we go on, Anthony.
Oh, lovely. Yes, I'm also trained in Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. I've done a couple of sessions with Skye, and
Yes.
yeah, we had some pretty good results.
Yeah. I
Can
wasn't
you?
sure whether you wanted to reveal that it was with you, but yeah, it was. It was great. Yeah. Very good practitioner, Anthony is.
Thank you. Also, please share what the benefits are.
Yes. Well, if you're ready as a client and you can let go of, like I said, issues that might be upsetting you in this life and that are actually from a past life. And some people do. I've had clients that come in that have had this heavy feeling or they've had a reoccurring dream. And they needed to know what that was. Why were they dreaming repetitively about this thing? And then they realized that they had, it was a vision of a past life. And then they could put all the pieces together and then they could put it to bed and move on instead of constantly wondering and being worried. And then they also get to see what their role was in a past life and who they were and what responsibilities they had and how strong they were and what they managed to overcome and things like that, the task that they had and the purpose of the life. At the end, the higher self reveals the purpose of that life and what that person achieved. So it's great. It's great to see that. It gives you strength of character to know that if you can achieve that in a previous life, you can also achieve things in this life.
That's a
And
good
it's
way to
very,
look at that. Yeah.
yeah. And the healing part. So you travel to the healing of the body and the client connects with the higher self and then the healing channels flows over the client. And for me, should we talk about that now, Anthony? The healing benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Can do.
Yeah. So I think it was one of your questions, wasn't it? The healing
Yeah.
benefits. Yeah. Yeah. So then the second part of the hypnosis technique is to go to the higher self, and the higher self can see what healing is needed in the body. So I had an issue with my kidney before I moved to. I was in between moving houses, and at the end of packing, while I was packing up in one house, I had to do a kidney test, and then it came back abnormal, and they wanted to do further tests. However, I didn't get time. I had to move. So I did the move. I had a QHHT session. My higher self recognized that I had this kidney problem, did some healing on my body. And then once I settled in and had the kidney test again at my new location, there was no sign of any issue. So it was healed by my higher self, and there was no need to investigate any further. So that was really, really good going down.
Who do you think will benefit from the
QHHT, I think it could be anybody who's an adult that has any kind of health concern. Obviously, we're not doctors, so you have to also be seeing a doctor alongside any treatment that's holistic in any way. And we would always say that never give up any treatment unless you're seeing some sort of improvement, like me with the kidney thing. But the doctor said themselves they had no reason to look any further into that. So they stopped it, not just me. So, yeah, any adult that wants to give it a go, they may be intrigued. Might not be an issue as such. They may just want to have a session to see, to go into a past life and be intrigued about past life journeying. But the main reason why most people come for QHHT is to get some healing, emotional healing, psychological healing, physical healing, ailments and things like that. It can promote healing of the body, mind and soul. I think to go into any more detail, it would be a good idea to contact a practitioner and talk about it on a one-to-one. But yes, a full body scan is what the higher self does. And then it targets the areas that the higher self recognizes needs healing. The heart, for example, like I mentioned, the kidneys, sore knees, ankles, that type of thing. So it could be anybody that wants to give it a go, anybody that's an adult that is suffering in any way, that has tried everything, gone to the NHS, gone to this holistic practitioner, gone to that holistic practitioner, not had any success, has hit brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. QHHT might be the solution. So it's worth giving it a go for if you've tried everything else, or even if you haven't and you just want to try it out. It's been fantastic for me, very insightful.
Yes.
Very enjoyable. You can also find out more about QHHT by reading Dolores Cannon's many, many books, and it gives you case study after case study after case study after case study of many, many clients that she'd seen practicing QHHT all over the world, worldwide. So that's another way to look into how successful QHHT has been. And would
Oh, yes. They're very interesting. I read quite a few of her books already.
Yes, yeah. And audiobooks, I'm not a massive reader nowadays, I'm always on the go. There's always something to do. So audiobooks are fantastic as well. So, if you're interested in QHHT, you're not too sure, you're not too much in a rush, read some of Dolores Cannon's books. Get the lowdown, get the insight, get it all. All the information is there. More than we could ever explain, really, isn't it? And that's what's pulled us in. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I also want to put like a reminder out there. If you don't have anything wrong with you physical wise, you can always ask your higher self questions to help you in any situation. If you with anything, you can ask your higher self anything. If you want an answer to something, if you're, in two minds about a question or decision you have to make, you can use the session to ask questions like which road is going to be resonates with them at this point in time.
Yes, yes. I forgot to mention that. The life questions, you can bring a sort of medium-sized list of life questions and put it to your higher self. Well, you tell us as a practitioner what you'd want to ask your higher self. And then while you're under hypnosis, we can then ask your higher self on your behalf, and your higher self can then answer through you what they think would be helpful. Ultimately is your choice, but it's just some information for you to then, an insight really, if you're stuck in life, stuck in a job, stuck in a relationship, stuck financially, the higher self can give some clarity on where you're going wrong, perhaps how you can reroute things, roughly how long it would take, just insight. But ultimately you make the decision, and sometimes you feel actually destiny is making the decision for you and you just want some validation. You're already halfway making the decision, or you're in a decision and you just want that clarity, that validation. Am I doing the right thing? And you get that from your higher self, and you feel good about it. It's all about feeling good, this modality, and healing and getting questions answered. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Skye, but my clients, the common question I get is, what is my life purpose?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So do
Yeah.
you,
The same thing, really. Yeah. Yeah. The same thing. So it could be life purpose professionally, it could be personally. And I think that's it. We always do ask that question as a must. It's sort of like a question that we include anyway, but there's a lot of people that are stuck in life. You get stuck sometimes when you bringing up children and you lose yourself, or it could be that you have had to move to help care for somebody and you want to see where your next chapter is going to lead you. And it could be that you had a purpose, and your purpose was bringing up your children and being a family person, and that may have sort of either they've grown up, or you've drifted apart or moved away from family, and now you may want to know do I have a second purpose? Is there another purpose, or was that it? Because we have chapters in our life, and the purpose that was once isn't always flowing through our whole life. We could be done in one area. We still need to be fulfilled as people and find that which helps us feel inspired, and that we're giving back, and that we're living our best life. So it's about getting to a place of being not just unstuck and surviving, but getting to a place where you're living your best life. Nobody wants a humdrum life. And if you want more out of life, then sometimes a QHHT session gives you that insight, and then you can take the torch and move forward with it and create a new life for yourself. Yeah.
did you want to talk about your next subject?
Yeah, I do. I'm a psychic medium. I've always been a psychic medium, and I've always sort of channeled spirit. So I sometimes can pick up on certain things. I'm also a qualified counsellor, and it ties in really. So I channel from spirit guidance for people. It's almost like spirit tell me what could be helpful for you. It's almost like life coaching, really, intuitive, spiritual channeling, life coaching. And I've been doing it for on and off, really, for friends and family since I was quite young, teenager. I was always seen as an agony aunt, and I just used to conjure up this information, not conjuring, but it just used to come to me intuitively. And then I realized that actually it's coming from a higher source, and it's for that person's best interest. And a lot of people that I was talking to, just chatting, I was able to see certain things about them where they were stuck, upset, struggling. And I'd realized that spirit was channeling through me to help give them information to help them become unstuck. And I see it through visions. I hear their words. I see information, visions, and it is channeling. I channel spirit to give guidance, and I do that on a one-to-one basis, private. It's a bit like spiritual counseling, I'd say, but my resource is not religion. It's spirit channeling through me, and I don't filter it. I just say everything that comes from spirit out through. It comes in through my mind, and then it comes out, and I don't filter anything. I just say exactly as I'm getting it. And I do sessions like that for people And sometimes I use cards as well, like tarot cards. I use it as inspiration. So, for example, I'd shuffle the cards and then do a spread. But if there's a particular card that comes out from the pack while I'm shuffling, for example, just for example's sake, I'd look at the card and then I'd see what's coming out at me, but it really is coming from spirit. But this can be used as a trigger because each card represents a story as well. So swords represents thoughts and the ace of swords has its own story, but it's very gives you a starting point. So it's good to use, for me, it's good to use the cards because it gives me a good starting point and then I go from there. So if people prefer me to use cards and they want a card reading, I will do that, but it still all comes from spirit. I'm still channeling, I'm just using the cards to, because people like to have a visual. They like to see what you're seeing. So in a card, if a card comes out for that person, they can see what the card represents. And then I can show and say, well, this is about your creative side, or this is about your emotional side. And then I'll just tell them what I'm getting. Yeah, that's something else that I do, one-to-one sessions. And I've done it for a very long time. I think really since I was a teenager. I'm 42 now, so that's sort of nearly 30 years, 20 odd years at least, on and off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice. Could you tell us a bit more about your journey and how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, it is a gift. I've realised that, and it can be taken away. It can be given and it can be taken away. So you never abuse the gift. And there's a code of conduct, there's a moral code, and there is a spiritual law. So I've learned about the law of reciprocity, and what you give comes back to you as well. So if you give not very nice thoughts, not very nice actions, and that's what you're giving out, it's like a system. There is a system going on here. And then we have contracts. And I've learned there's certain things, and we have tests as well that we have to overcome because it's a learning. This life is a learning and we have to learn. We don't get away with not learning. So I've learned myself over the years I've been tested to see if I do the right thing, and then they'll give me a bit more of the gift and make it easier for me. Another test, perhaps, and then more insight, and it's grown in that way. So I used to just see people's problems and then help them. I used to get insight from spirit for solutions, and it was on a basic level, but still good enough to sort of help people along when I was younger. And it's grown and grown and grown and grown as I've grown and grown and grown. And they trust me. Spirit have to trust you as a person. You have to prove to them that you're worthy of the gift. If you abuse it or you don't use it correctly, it can be taken away. So if you do have a gift, it's good to honor it, respect it, and do things in a decent way. But the good thing is about channeling, Anthony, is that you forget it goes, because it's not coming from me. I forget immediately. So I could have a client do the channeling and then I say bump into them ever again. I'll never know what I said because it immediately gets wiped from my memory. So there's never any,
Okay.
yeah, because it's coming
Yeah.
through me rather than from me.
Okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, I don't have any memory of it afterwards. So if I see you at the beginning of the year, and I might see you then towards the end of the year for another, if you wanted to spread them apart. A medium one said to me, don't have a session more than within 6 months. So have them 6 months apart if you're going to have a psychic message, because it covers sort of an overview of where you're at. And that generally doesn't really change within 6 months. So the message
Okay.
is going to be similar. But if you came to me at the beginning of the year and you came at the end, I wouldn't remember what I said to you at the beginning of the year because it comes and then it goes. So that is the good thing about if you're a client. You're not going to think, oh, she knows all this stuff about me. No, we don't. It gets wiped away. And it is all on spirit's terms. So everything is on their terms. They will bring in information that they want me to tell you. So I can't conjure up information about anybody. It's whatever they think is relevant for your highest good at that time. So if it's important for me to discuss, say, something to do with your family life, that's what's going to come through. If they think it's important to discuss something about your work life, that's what's going to come through. So
Yeah.
I can't select it for you. You can perhaps ask some questions, and if they're willing to answer, I will get information channeled for you. So you can always ask questions, but generally the information that comes through is what they think is for your highest good. And that will dominate the session. And that's what I've learned. So that is a structure, if you see. It's a map for the session. And that's what I've learned over the years, how it works. So as you grow with a gift, you learn things like that. And again, it's only if spirit trust you, and you have to prove that as you go through life, that you are a trustworthy, honorable, good person. And if you're not a good person, they do take it away. I did have 10 years where it was very quiet. So I was able to, it was still there, but it was very quiet because I had to concentrate on tests in my life, and proving that I could do certain things and overcome certain challenges, because I have to be a point of reference as well. So if I haven't
Okay.
been through certain things, they can't give me information. So they put me through my paces and tested me for many years with lots and lots of challenges. And then I've got a point of reference for all these different issues. And then it can land the information that they give, because then I can say, oh yeah, I recognize that, that's this challenge, or I recognize that information that relates to that. So any medium or psychic will have been very, very challenged in their life. They will have had a very difficult and challenging time. So spirit can use them as different points of view, so they can talk about different points of view genuinely, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when you say you channel spirit, is it the same? Is it an angel, or is it the same angel, or is it
I think
changed?
it could be, for example, if I was channeling for you, it could be a guide for you. It could be a loved one. It could be an angel. It could be your higher self. So it could be a number of things. It might be really important for you at that time and meaningful to have contact with a loved one. So a loved one will come through. And it might be that the loved one comes through, makes contact, gives a few messages, and then it switches to your higher self
Okay.
for more impactful insight, because we're all striving to go higher vibration in this day and age. We all want our best lives. So if you want a higher level of insight, a higher being will come through, like your higher self. So you can't get higher than that.
Can you notice the change?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 I do notice. But it's sort of like sometimes they work in collaboration. And sometimes it depends how spiritual you are, because some people don't mind who it's from. They just want the information. Once you prove that, for example, they'll give me certain things to prove that I am channeling and I'm not just making up waffle. So they'll tell me things about you, maybe your day, or the things you've done in the last week, or certain things that you had in common with a loved one, or they'll bring something that's meaningful, a memory, or they'll show me an item or a place that you used to go. And then I'll say, oh, I'm seeing the Bahamas. And then you might say, oh, we used to go to the Bahamas every year, and it will be things like that.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to think of an example, but I haven't got anybody's consent to reveal, and I don't like to,
Oh, that's
although,
fun. We don't want to do that. But
yeah, although you can't pinpoint that person, if that person's watching, they'll know it could be them, because I do have, although I don't remember the majority of things, I have got something fresh in my mind that I could use an example, but I'm not going to. But I get information, first of all, to validate that I am talking about you and that loved one, because they'll give me information about themselves or memories and things that you can connect with. And then you'll realize, oh, she is talking to that person. That person is coming through because of the evidence that I can provide from them. And then go from there, really.
Okay. That sounds nice.
Anybody who's experienced a channeler or a psychic will know exactly what I mean. Anybody who hasn't will probably get the gist of that, but if, it's all there out on the internet anyway, isn't it? You can Google channeling and probably get a few videos from one extreme to another. I mean, I don't do trance channeling, so it's not that kind of channeling. It's just hearing spirit and saying what they're saying as help or guidance for you in that moment. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
only relative for that time in your life. So, if you come back a year later and you say to me, well, you said, well, it was relative for then, it might be new information now. And then I'll say, well, let's see what I can get for you.
Okay, cool. Also, for people who haven't, or don't know about channeling and they were thinking of going to see someone, what advice do you have for those people?
Any psychic medium, I would go on word of mouth. If you've been recommendation is always, I've always find that if you know somebody who's seen a medium and they can recognize them, commend them, it's always good. But they have to prove themselves. Don't just give yourself over, and just because somebody says that they're a psychic medium, don't go all in. Wait until they can hit the mark for you, but be open. If you go in completely closed, a psychic medium or a channeler can't work with a completely closed person, because you're closing any connection, and they have to connect with you in order to channel for you. So go in open to it, but and not completely closed, because some mediums will say, sometimes I can't pick up on anything for you because you're just too cut off. We have to be able to connect with the person. It is all about energy, and you have to give your consent as well by connecting with the medium. But the medium then has to prove themselves by saying, I'm bringing in this person. They can't just say, oh, I'm bringing in your nan. They have to describe your nan. So, or describe the person, and it's a description of something, or of themselves, or a memory, something that really hits the mark for you to believe that that is that person coming through.
Nice. I talk about
Yeah.
recommendations. Skye has done a few readings for me in the past, and I can recommend Skye. She's very good.
Thank you.
That's all
Thank
right.
you. Thank you. I do work for the highest good. I do have them breathing down my neck, and they've sort of, what can I say, molded me over the years. I'm probably less myself and more a molded channeler now. That's just more me than anything else, I think. But thanks, Anthony. That's very
That's
kind
all
of you.
right. You mentioned earlier about trance channeling. I'm guessing someone like Bashar is that trance? So
Yeah,
could people can
yeah.
compare the two,
Yeah.
so they know what's
Abraham
what.
Hicks. Yeah. There's also Abraham Hicks. Her name has escaped me. The channeler, the trance channeler for Abraham Hicks. Esther Hicks. That's it. Esther Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bashar does trance channeling, sorry. It's when you sort of completely go and let them completely take over. So Esther described it as she would go and sit. I think it was Esther. Don't quote me on this, but I think she says, like, she goes and sits on the bench. She takes her soul, her spirit, and just imagines herself sitting on a bench while she allows Abraham to step into her body and then channel
Okay.
through her.
Okay.
So, yeah, everyone can find those types of channelers. I'm not one of those channelers. I just hear spirit hear spirit tell you what they're saying, hear them tell you. And I can hear them
Okay.
quite
Yeah.
quite
I just want to
clearly.
just share it so people who don't know about it can know the difference and
Yeah. Yeah.
go whatever route they want to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Or do a QHHT session where they channel their
Yeah.
higher selves. They hear what's going on, and then we record everything, don't we, Anthony? And then
Yes, we do. Yeah.
we have a recording of the whole session of them being under hypnosis. So you can, as a client, then go and listen to it and get all that feedback.
Yeah. The information they share when you channel, you can tell that their higher self comes through with so much love. We can feel that in the session. They come through
Yeah.
with so much love, and it's
Yeah.
amazing at what comes through and how
Yeah.
they bring it across with
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think people themselves are sort of amazed, but surprised by it.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah, they feel the love. They get emotional. There's a lot of emotion going on. They feel the relief, the release, and the love from the higher self. It can be very, very strong, and it's lovely to see, and it's lovely to feel, and it does fill the room, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
obviously some of the information that comes through as well. So, I don't know about you, but when they bring out the information, that's a good advice. I should take that on for myself.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And they do it in such a kind way, but it's not namby-pamby, it's not softy-softy. Sometimes it's forthright, it is decisive, it's definite. Um it's information that you can't get any other way. You know, even with my channeling, it's not as good as getting it straight from the horse's mouth, straight from your higher self, through you, your questions answered direct to your higher self, and getting the healing at the same time. You know, I do think that is a really good package that Dolores cultivated. But again, she had the same want and the same wish to work in a way that is for the person's higher self. And that's the only reason that we can get to do what we get to do, is because we have that strong intention too. You know, facilitate a session as a practitioner, you have to have that in your heart. You have to have it in yourself, and that's our purpose, I think. To do that. And then when you're in your purpose, you genuinely want to help other people find their purpose. Um,
Yeah, most definitely, because obviously it does change your life, for the better, and it's changed my life. And then didn't realise I was supposed to be doing the QHHT. I went for a session because obviously I was interested because I was listening to Dolores's books, and
yeah,
then I booked myself for the session, and then afterwards I kept getting the information, especially in dreams, like you need to do the training,
yeah,
and I thought it was just
yeah.
coincidence, and the dreams kept coming and coming and coming, and after a few dreams, I woke up one morning and said, "All right, I'm going to book myself onto a course." So you calm down. I got the phone out and I've
The message was
so
hitting you on
clear.
the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just, for me, I absolutely loved Dolores's work. It was fascinating. It was mind-boggling. It was mind-bending. It was great. I read back to back all of her books, and I had no intention of being a QHHT practitioner until I came to the end of her catalogue. I'd read all the books, and then I had this inner meditation guidance to learn the practice. And I thought, well, I've never thought about that. I just enjoyed reading the books.
Mm.
And of course, you learn all about it while reading the books. It's like a course in itself. So I thought, well, I've already researched it by reading all of the books. So why not? I thought, why not? And then I put it off like you. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'll get round to it. And then I kept getting in my meditation the same message: start doing the course, start doing the course. And then they had a Black Friday deal, and I
Oh,
thought,
nice.
that's me. I'm getting on the back of that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and did that course, and then moved on and did the second course, and yeah, never looked back. Never
That
looked back.
brings us on to our next question. I'm not sure if I asked this already. How's this all of this training and doing the courses has it changed your life?
I think connecting to the higher self and because while you're doing the course, you have to have so many case studies to write about, and then you have to practice it on people. And then you get to have if you find another student who's practicing, you can do a swap. So we did a swap. I had a session, and it was life changing because I was able to see the bigger picture. So I was just seeing my little life, this big, narrow view. And then all of a sudden, my vision of life just opened up massively. I saw past life. I connected with my higher self. I saw insights about my future. Everything, my whole perspective just blew open. Like, it was just incredible what I was seeing all of a sudden. And I thought, I've got a purpose. I've got something I need to aim for. I need to help other people. I need to work at this. I need to cultivate. It just felt a level up than what I was seeing. This little life, going to work, coming back, rinse and repeat, right? Being there for friends and family, and rinse and repeat, small. And then seeing that really did open up my perspective about my life and where it could go and what I could do and what I was expected to do, because we do have a contract, we do have commitments. There is a journey story to us, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you're in the middle, you want to know where you're going and how to navigate that. And it did give me a sense of, I had to reroute. Also, I had to suddenly move, and I had to find the correct house to buy in the right sort of area to be able to reach the right people. So it all went hand in hand, and it gave me insight about that as well. And it taught me to ask bigger questions for my life and see that there was a bigger journey. It wasn't just about going to work, coming home, being with friends and family. There was more for me to have and experience. So, and I'm enjoying exploring that. Wasn't something that I thought would be the case, but now that I'm in it, I wouldn't want it any other way. It's very, what can I say? It's fulfilling and meaningful, I think. And I enjoy, helping other people. I enjoy helping them get unstuck. I was able to experience that in a way with my QHHT sessions, and I enjoy facilitating that with others. And I think seeing the bigger picture was the biggest thing for me. I think it just opened my eyes right up to life being bigger than it actually is, and what we're taught in school and what we assume it to be, And it was just incredible journey of learning for me. And then when you know the soul and your journey is bigger, and your past life means something, that you've been somewhere and done something else, you want to then, I don't know, it gives you a bit of oomph, I think, to want to input into. You see how far you've come as well. It's not just about how far you've come in this life, it's how far you've come in all those other lives. And then you think, well, I'm not going to just do it half-assed now. If I've been through all those lives and gone through all that effort, I'm going to really put some effort into this one and get the best out of it. you know
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
sounds really good.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
when you I know what you mean. It's like when you're in your QHT session, when you see the visions, it's hard to explain it and how it how it is really, because it's like magic, and it's hard to explain how you can't explain magic.
No,
And
no,
it
you
is,
can.
yeah, it's just a wonderful feeling, I guess.
Yeah,
It's amazed me what I experienced in my own sessions.
yeah, yeah. And if the higher self can't heal the issue, the ailment, and whatever's going on emotionally, mentally, the higher self will often, we as practitioners will ask why. What's that all about? What's the block? And it might be that actually it's part of your test in this life, or there's a reason for that not being healed at this moment in time, or there's a reason for it being there. Might have to teach you a lesson or teach you something that you can't learn possibly any other way. So, and the higher self will explain that as well. Is that what you found, Anthony? That not if there is something that is sticking,
Yeah,
the higher self will explain, if it's
yeah,
not immediately healed, that perhaps sometimes it will be healed over a period of time. And they start the process and then they continue to work on it overnight over a period of time, because the intensity of the healing would be too much for the body to take.
In one session, yeah.
Yeah, so it has to be spread out over a period of time, or they can't heal it because they've still got to learn something from it. And then once the learning is done, perhaps the healing can happen. But it could be only one aspect of something in the body. There could be other things that it can heal. And so it could be 1 out of 5 things that it can't, but it still can heal the rest of the 4, if you see what I mean. So it's only a limitation for a reason, and you get to know that reason. The higher self will.
They'll tell you.
Yeah.
They normally tell me. If they don't, I normally ask. It's going to take at least a week. They've got to do it while they're sleeping, and
Yeah.
it's not a quick thing to be
Yeah.
done. And also they tell me a reason why they can't do it. And they give a reason. I was like, oh, so-and-so needs to go take the first step first. They need to overcome this barrier, or they need to do this first. And then once they've done that, then they'll start the healing process. Because there's no point, because it's just going to undo all the work they've done if they don't take that first step.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can second that. I think I've heard something very, 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 very similar to that also. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Have you still got your cards with you? Your cards, your oracle cards, is it?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Just want to ask if you can do something for the audience, see what comes through for the audience, any information that can help our audience watching today.
Okay. Let's see if we can pick up on a theme.
Sorry to put that upon you last minute.
No, that's all right. The cards have a theme. So these tarot cards, certain cards have a theme about them. So the cups are emotions, the swords are thoughts, and the wands are your personal creative side. And then we have larger cards as well, which are a bit more of a statement. So there's three cards that have come out. So we'll go with those. We've got the Queen of Cups, we've got the Queen of Wands, and we've got the Two of Swords. So this is a protection. She's trying to protect herself. She's in a bit of a dark place. It's a bit stormy. This could be somebody, or at the moment, somebody who's going through a lot of doubt at the moment. I feel it's not a huge amount of doubt. I'm not getting a lot of doubt, because 2 is a lower number. So that means it's less doubt than it being a higher number. So, and I can feel that the message is coming through that this is just about holding back, waiting a little while. It may not be the right time to make a decision, that the doubt is there for a reason. It's a small doubt. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that you have to wait it out. So that's where the doubt is, what it's about. The doubt is about. But I love my little jokes, don't I, Anne?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not the end of the world. I feel like whatever is going on, it's going to pass by. It might feel heavy, but it's somebody else's problem. I feel like there's a male and female dynamic going on, and that the male, this might relate to some people who's having a bit of a hard time with a hot-headed person, but I see that they will calm down in a couple of months. So if it's a partner, that they're going to calm down and get with the program, if you like. So that's a message for female to male dynamic, or a feminine energy and a masculine energy. And she's holding on, waiting for them to see sense. And they're a bit hot-headed, and they blow. Takes them a while to come around, but this person is going to come around, and you can sort of see that, but you just have to give some people time. If you encroach on them all the time and you don't let them come to the decision themselves, of course they're going to get agitated. So this woman that feels that she wants to just jump in and keep telling him the same thing over and over, but in the back of your mind you think, no, I've got doubt about that. I shouldn't use that approach. I'll wait it out and let him realize it himself. I've said enough. I've already said everything. I'd only be repeating myself. So that's what the doubt is about, your approach. Hang back a little bit, Let him come to the decision himself. I can also see that there's a small child here as well. So just give him time to realize himself. You've planted the seed and he is going to come around, but he's got his pride, he's got his ego. So just protect your energy a little bit from the steam that's coming off of him, because he's having to compromise in the situation, and he will compromise. I feel like he will compromise. He'll come around. So the other card, let me see. What did I have? The Queen of Cups. You only asked me for one card, and now three have come. Three have come out. The cups. So this might be a completely different situation for somebody different altogether. So it might be that was for one particular person or a group of people that can relate to that. And this might be for somebody else. I feel like this has been a long, hard slog. So the Queen of Cups, she's got her cup, her emotions in her hand. She's been able to cultivate a good emotional state. You've got to a place where you're regulating well. You've got a certain stature about you, and you're good. You're feeling good about who you are, and your emotions are pretty good. You've overcome a challenge. You've overcome a test with your emotions. You've overcome achieving something. And now it is going to come up to the surface, but you just need to let it go. Okay, because you've done it all. You've achieved it. You've been successful. Don't crumble now. Try and let go of anything that comes up to the surface, any residual emotional stuff. So this is about somebody who's been through a bit of a tough time, a bit of a challenge, but has achieved every single step that was thrown at her, and every single thing. She's done it all. You've done it all. So this could be a female or a female energy. And it's been a real good passing of your tests. And you realize that. You've done well. Don't fall at the last hurdle. Don't crumble. Just acknowledge all of your achievements. And I think this particular person has a tendency to doubt and second guess themselves. But if you've achieved it and you've done well and you pass your test and you've overcome a challenge, why second guess yourself? Let it go. Just ride the wave of the residual emotion and just let it pass like a little mini storm. I don't think anything is going to upset you in the immediate future. So that feels like somebody who will know in their mind, I've just achieved a massive thing, whether it be a job or a home dynamic, a move, or something like that, where they feel a lot better about having done a bunch of stuff. Don't let the emotions mess you up now. Keep them intact. Know that you've done well. Acknowledge your achievements and be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's difficult when you have rumblings of emotions to try and calm and say, no, I've done well. I've achieved. I'm good to go. Right. What's next? So it's just about saying, right, okay, what's next? I've dealt with that now, and move on. Move on. Give yourself permission to move on and feel different emotions, and give yourself a little pat on the back, give yourself a little treat, take yourself out for the day, have a spa treatment, or do something that's validating that you have achieved and accomplished that which was within your role and responsibility. Finally, Queen of Wands, I'm going to make this really, really, really quick. Somebody who's creative, artistic, wanting to branch out on their journey, feels a bit unsure. I think there's a couple of more steps to go. But this is about, they always say, if you're going to be creative and don't leave your job, do it at the same time until it builds up momentum, and then you can leave your job. So I feel like somebody's thinking about leaving their job too soon. And I know you want to, you've got that creative ability, but practice it. Practice makes perfect. Try and build your creative dream life, work on it, and use that job that you might want to leave to help you build a platform and promote your creative business. And I feel like somebody is very exhausted by their job that they want to leave, but regroup, have faith, know that it's worth putting the effort in. Don't try not to put all your effort into your job, and keep some energy for yourself. Do what you've got to do. And because you're coming back depleted and you haven't got, it feels like that it's just the balance is not right. So you need to create balance in your life so you can give as much give less to the job that you're not enjoying so you can give more to your creative project, and get the balance right. Get the balance. It's like this at the moment. Bring this side up, rest, recuperate, believe in your dream, believe in yourself, give it a good go before you throw in the towel and think it's not worth it. You know, this is about grabbing your dreams and giving it a go, and not giving in to the corporate world if that's not where you see yourself in 10 years' time. But just try and they're exhausted. I can see this person absolutely exhausted because they keep putting everything into the job, and then they're too depleted to do the creative stuff. And you've got to not, try and get the balance right, so you've got more energy to put into, save some energy so you can finally put it into your creative. That word just came through. Tell them so they can finally start working on their creative project. Oh, I haven't got the time, I haven't got the energy, I don't know how I'm going to fit it in. You have to make the time. You have to reserve the energy and not give it all away, and think, right, I'm going to channel that into my creative project, and I'm going to give it 1 day a week or 2 days a week or 1 day a fortnight. Dedicate, you're reserving that energy for that project. And it's like a plant. A plant can't grow without water. And it's like a project can't grow without your heart and soul going into it. It's only going to become something for you with you putting into it. If you keep thinking about it, thinking, oh, when am I going to have time? It's not going to come through thinking. I know that seems obvious. It comes through you knowing that you're worth it. You're worth putting that time into. And if it's going to manifest, it's going to manifest because you did it, not because somebody else did it or it just happened. It's because you did it and it came from you, your manifestation. And it's only going to become something because of the meaning that you put into it. And it's scary. It is scary. Any creative project is scary to start off. But once you get into it and you start enjoying it and you start doing it because you enjoy it, it becomes more than, it doesn't become so scary anymore. And there's lots of platforms now, social media platforms, which will, sort of support with that, because there's other people. If you've got a project in mind, there's going to be thousands of other people out there that can relate to that project. And so you put yourself on a platform and you'll find your people. It will attract your people, and you might get more fulfillment from it by putting effort into it, putting yourself out there, and then you'll draw your people to you that also enjoy that same creative project. And then you get that fulfillment, don't you? It doesn't have to be a big deal to begin with. It could be a little thing, and then it builds over time. Lots of creative projects build over years. It's a miracle if you go viral, but you have to be in it to win it, and in it and be prepared for it to build over years. Don't have any huge expectations. Don't be too hard on yourself either. I'm hearing Spirit say people give up because they expect too much too soon, and they give up too early. So you've got to keep working and chipping away at something, and you've got to think this might take years to build momentum. And that's why you don't leave the corporate job, because if it's going to take years, you're going to need that salary. So be realistic. And sometimes if something happened too fast, you wouldn't be able to cope with it, cope with the demand, cope with the sort of influx of people wanting you to do that. And sometimes when it builds slowly, it's better for the psyche, the mind, body and soul. The universe has always got your back. It works out the way it's supposed to work out. But don't be too hard on it. There's loads of people that are far too hard on themselves. So that Spirit, they're saying, don't be too hard on yourself.
Okay.
And if it's going to, if it's going to manifest, it's going to manifest from you. Yeah.
Thank you for that beautiful message. Thank you for sharing.
That's all right. I'd say any time, but no, give me another month before you put me on a spot like that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I had the message come through. No, it was good. It was good timing, actually, while we were at that point in the conversation.
Awesome.
Yeah. Definitely too many people being hard on themselves. I'm getting that really, really strongly. More love, more creative juices flowing, and more manifestation of loving projects, they're telling me. They love to watch that as well from Spirit. They love to watch those things grow. They love to see them happening. So make them happen.
It's really lovely. Thank you.
That's all right.
Last but not least, do you want to share your contact information? So if people are interested in booking a session with you, then they can
Yes, I
get
think
hold of you.
we'll put it in the caption, shall we? Because I haven't got it at hand right now, but I have got a Facebook and it is QHHT with me. So the picture you'll recognize and my contact details are there. So I'd be happy to discuss a QHHT session, a channeling session with anybody that's interested in that. But if you're able to add a little caption with this, with my Facebook link, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. That's perfect. I'll put it in the description box below so people
Excellent.
can
Excellent.
get the
Yeah.
information.
And I'm getting from spirit, just everyone be a bit more hopeful, have hope for your dreams and allow them to come into fruition, and stop dismissing and being too of a critical person on your dreams and wishes. So if you do it on the side, there's no pressure. If it doesn't work out, there's no pressure. You've lost nothing. So they want you to have hope, more hope.
Thank you very much, Skye.
Pleasure.
Thank you for joining the video. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you liked the video. So please like and subscribe if you do. Thank you. Much love. Thanks.
Bye.